So we are in the field today with Dave Miller with Superior Services, and we're going to talk a little bit about having the right size unit for your house, what the wrong size unit means and whether that's a bad thing, and talk a little bit about what they've got to offer here. So let's kind of jump in. This is a new install today.
Sure.
It's a swapping out of something that was, strangely enough, too big.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're busy getting dirty today. The system that was here originally was in bad shape. It had a refrigerant leak, and it was some of the older refrigerant, so it had to go.
Okay.
However, when the tech that was here looking at it was looking at the size of the unit and the square footage of the area it was doing, and it didn't really add up to him about the size of the unit and the space it was conditioning.
Okay.
So what we did is, with the extra mile, we did a load calculation of the area this system is conditioning, and got some more feedback from an actual professional calculation computer software.
Right.
And it kicks back what we should be putting in the house. And so it turned out that the system that was here was about 1 ton too large of a system. So
that's kind of significant. I mean, it sounds significant anyway.
It is,
yeah.
and people think bigger, better, colder.
Yeah.
But in the AC world, that's not always the case. Bigger, better, colder is definitely better on days like today, yes, when it's really hot out. I mean, we're in the shade and it's probably 95 degrees.
Exactly. One of our beautiful Lowcountry days here.
That's right. That's right. With all the humidity.
Yes.
So what ended up happening was, this would probably do fine in August and July, but the rest of the year it was just way too large.
Okay.
And when you have a system that's too large, it turns on and turns off very quickly because it's getting to temperature very quickly because it's too big.
Yeah.
However, when that happens,
it thinks it's done its job.
Right.
But it hasn't.
Right.
Okay.
We need runtime for the system to actually wring the humidity out of the air. And we don't get the runtime with a system that's too large.
Okay.
So now that we put the right size system there, it'll still cool the house, in days like today, but then the rest of the year, it'll run a little bit longer and help wring that humidity out, and that's when you get your nice humidity levels.
Okay. Well, and I think it's really interesting because I think most of the time people would think, if you're going to come in and try and sell them something, you're going to try and sell them something bigger,
right,
something better.
Right.
And so you really came in and did the right job here.
Right.
So that's something that's really important for people to know, I think, when they're choosing a contractor.
Sure.
Is that they're going to match what they really need.
Right.
Not just try and sell them the latest and greatest.
Right. So in our industry, there's a saying that they say, well, we're just swapping boxes for boxes, and that's all they want to do. They want to come in here and replace the air conditioner, and they look at the unit that's there and put the exact same one back in. So, using a better contractor and somebody that takes a little bit more thorough approach to things, you end up getting a better size system that's suited for what you need, and not too much, not too little, and it'll get your house, hopefully a more maintained humidity level than something that's just turning on and off every 2 minutes.
Right. And so I'm going to talk about your branding
Sure.
here in just a second, but I wanted to go back to something you said earlier, and that was the refrigerant is
Yes.
old.
Yes.
And that is something that's we're bumping up into when you're really not going to be able to get that anymore.
Right.
Is that correct?
Actually, 2020 is when they stopped producing it.
Okay.
I believe this unit that's still here in front of us that hasn't been replaced yet is got the old refrigerant in it. 2020 came, so you can get substitutes. They're not as good. They're not meant to be mixed with the old stuff. So realistically, if you have the old stuff, it's time for a new system with a new refrigerant. It's just the government coming up with their standards and practices in the APA for cleaner air and things like this.
Right.
The refrigerant that's in here is a little bit more better for the ozone depletion than, say, these older units.
Okay.
And I believe there's even talk of a new refrigerant coming around the corner in the next 5 to 10 years that'll eventually replace this.
Of course there is. Of course, because there's always going to be something that's going to be better.
Yep.
But let's talk a little bit about this, because this is your own brand.
Sure, yes.
Tell us how that came about and what you can expect from this brand.
Sure. So a lot of people feel that name brand is the way to go, and I agree in some cases, but a lot of times you're paying for marketing these big brands.
Right.
What we've noticed, and throughout the years, we've been doing it 21 years now, is that every unit, so I could take this unit apart today and we could look at this compressor, and that compressor is made by, say, Copeland, which is a compressor manufacturer. Okay. I can go to this unit, which is a different brand. I can pull the top off. We look at it. It probably has a Copeland compressor in it. And we can do that for the fan motors with GE and all the refrigerant parts. So all the parts and pieces that make up these two units are basically the same from the same manufacturers. They're just packaged differently and then
right.
branded. So we thought in this area, with the amount of volume we could do, we partnered up with some other air conditioning brands, and we were able to private label our own brand. So we call it Superior Air, right. And it allows us to get bulk pricing, so our pricing is more competitive on this line. And because we are vested with the manufacturer in this case, they train us a certain way, and we have a special certifications say, and so we get better warranties than typical people would get.
Nice.
So this is one of our base model units here. As we go up in efficiency, the warranties get better. So if this was one of our higher efficiency systems, they come with lifetime warranties on the outdoor unit. So like if the compressor was to fail, instead of just replacing the compressor like a lot of other people do, we would take this whole unit out, throw it away, and put a brand new unit in.
Wow.
And so and that goes on for 10 years, and then the compressors themselves get lifetime warranties on them. So
that's a great feature.
You know, to me, if it's going to work, if it's going to get the energy efficiency of, say, its competitor, and it's got a warranty and the price is right, then those are all checking the boxes of what I think homeowners want and care about.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you know, you don't carry around pictures of your air conditioner in your wallet. So
not usually.
Right. I might, but you know,
you might be the one person.
My camera roll's full of pictures of equipment. However, you know, so nobody cares what it really looks like. This is not ugly by any means, but you know, so it's not like when you're talking about a Ferrari or something fancy that you're going to pull up to, you know, and you want that name brand. In the case of an air conditioner, if it's got a great warranty and it's got the efficiency of the competitors, then you know, why not have a superior air?
Why not have a superior air? It's superior.
That's right. And just the last point on that is we don't want anybody to shy away that only we can work on these. So, you know, say, you know, a customer sells a house and the new owner doesn't call us to do the work. Anybody can work on these. Anybody can honor the warranties at the local supply houses. So they still carry warranties with the manufacturers, just like any other piece of equipment. So I don't want people to think that this is our way of locking them into using us.
Right. That's really good to know. So you did mention a little bit of the look of things here, and it may not make a difference, but it just kind of is interesting to me that this one is kind of tall and vertical, and this one's like this. Does that make a difference in the efficiency of things?
It does. This is way, so this is an actually bigger air conditioner as far as tonnage or capacity goes. Almost 1 or 2 tons larger. So you can see in air conditioning, it's the exact opposite of technology. We, instead of getting smaller with technology, we get bigger. Because in order for us to be efficient, we have to transfer heat. In order to transfer heat, we need surface area. So we have bigger coils, longer coils, and that's what gets the surface area. So this unit's actually a smaller system than that one, and it's quite a bit bigger because of the energy efficiency. This may be base model for today, but this is light years, probably 40% better than the one from 15 years ago that's in front of us here.
Right. And I know you guys also went upstairs and looked at what they were doing upstairs.
Sure.
So what's happening up there that we can't, I mean, you're going to see some pictures, but tell us about that process.
It's ridiculously hot up there, so we're not going to go up there. I thank God every day for the guys that come to work, because I think we registered 135 degrees up there when they were working, and you grab a tool that's been sitting on something up there, and sometimes you got to drop it because it's 150 degrees in your hand. But anyway, so it's a split system, so it's the other side of this unit that makes a full system. The refrigerant basically rejects the heat, brings it out here, and then this rejects the heat into the atmosphere, and that's how we get the cold air, by transferring that heat. So there's an indoor unit that's moving your air inside. It's got a refrigerant coil in there connected by the refrigerant lines that are behind me here. And those are the hard part of the job. Yes, for sure. And they were here bright and early though this morning, but they're going to be finished in one day. So this house is going to be cool. By this evening. It'll by the time we get it running, it'll probably take 2 or 3 hours to get it back to temperature, because it's already in the 90s in the house right now. But yeah, they were here we try to get in early, 6, 7 o'clock, and we're out by just after lunch. And then depending if we can get to another job, but usually the attics are just too hot to try to get back to another one. I would think I would not want to do another one in the afternoon. It's tough, and unfortunately we can't, I make the comment all the time, we're not stair manufacturers. We can't say, all right, well, you need a set of stairs, we're going to set you up in September to get those stairs done, or whatever it may be, and your AC's out, I don't care when it is, it's got to go back in. Sure. But I think you said, you touched on the time frame a little bit, and I know it's going to be different for each job. Sure. But can somebody expect basically that it's going to take a day or less? Absolutely. So same thing with, faster is not always better. Some people can say they can get in and out in 3 or 4 hours. In some cases you can. A really good team, skilled team, they can get in and out pretty quickly, but it's going to take, depending on the install, 6 hours minimum, sometimes longer. And that's because there's steps that, this thing could be turned on right now and it would run, right? And you wouldn't know that we did anything incorrectly for maybe 5 or 6 years, and then it'll start hurting itself, but there's really no way. What we tell everybody is the most important day of an air conditioner is the day you install it. Because we have to pressurize these lines and make sure there's no refrigerant leaks, and then we take a vacuum pump and we evacuate the lines, and that takes a lot of time. We're getting all the moisture out, And that's where the longevity of the systems are. You do that correctly, and it could take sometimes an hour just to pull a good vacuum on the system.
Right.
Your system's going to last. Now, like I said, we could stop right now, turn it on, it'll run, it'll cool, but we'll start seeing problems down the road, maybe not today or tomorrow, but in a couple of years. And so that's why sometimes when you see a unit that's crapped out, say in 5 years, it's a very good chance it's not the brand, it was maybe just not put in right.
So again, we're going back to choosing the right contractor, not only to give you the right advice for the unit that you need, but to do the right job on the install.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and obviously,
important.
of course, just for our last 30 seconds, just remind us that you said that you guys don't have to service these, but you do offer service plans.
Absolutely.
So you come every like 6 months to make sure things are
Yeah, we call them
smoothly.
memberships, and they get discounts, and we actually have replacement rebates. After X amount of years of paying into our program, they actually get up to $1,500 of that back towards a new system when it's time to replace it.
Excellent.
So.
Well, on that note, we're going to say thank you for being with us. That breeze felt really good coming in here for a second. And
It's
now
hot.
we're going to both get in some air conditioning.
That's right.
So thanks for being with us, Dave.
You got it. Thank you.